Flight boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Move. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about how heaven is below. That's right. Heaven is not at the motherfucking top. Heaven is below. And we're going to break this shit real down so y'all can clearly get lifted and go up above that weak-ass low consciousness that been developing on everybody's brain. So let's check this out right now. Now, first of all, one of the main reasons why everything is so twist and turn and out of whack in the motherfucking first place is because you guys have been following a spirit in this space and location that have taught y'all how to stand up right in the physical vessels that you creating for yourselves, the chakras and things, and it taught you how to stand up right to the point that you guys got lost. Now, what you need to know in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, everything is energy signatures. So if you're following anything in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, that is your spirit kind of looking up, aka following a spirit that's going through a space and a location before you, aka it is going to have more wisdom and it's going to be more wise, aka create a shape and form or a concept in that area before you. So since y'all following this, based upon the REM reality and the frequency vibration that y'all are in, that's creating that REM reality, you guys are going to look up to that spirit. Now, based upon that spirit being in that space before you, it has a bigger shape and form as a vehicle that it created for itself, a bigger light, a bigger imagination. So for the most part, based upon your REM reality, you're going to see this as the greater shape and form. So you're going to automatically look at it like you're looking up because the concept, your perception, your travel, your ideas is all came from that previous experience that you have followed, aka that space, that spirit that all y'all have followed. So in the REM reality that you are in, this is where y'all even came up with the concept of you're looking up. And this is where things get a little tricky, you know what I'm saying? Because you got a bunch of spirits here that y'all be following and shit, and it's fucking y'all shit up in this REM reality. Now, check this out. That is one of the reasons why everything is out of whack and things of that nature. Now, here's how heaven once was in this space and location, but here how this space and location you're in right now became hell, right, for the most part, but at the same time, after that is heaven. Now, this is why y'all can't understand or even construct, because this once was the firmament. This was the glass ceiling. This was the glass wall that you are on right now. Now, how you developed that was your imagination. So when you emit an imagination, you emit a light. Now, your ability to come up and analyze it, rationalize it, logically come up with structures around it and things of that nature, you're creating a firmament. Now, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, this is seen as physical. But in the 3rd dimension, y'all kind of lost in things of that nature, and y'all not understanding that because things are so dense down here and y'all are being lost by other people giving y'all interpretations of their lostness. But for the most part, you need to know that is the firmament. Now, based upon the beings that we are in and the God beings and things of that nature, this you having a physical shape and form means you're within somebody's imagination and they're constructing it and analyzing it and making sense out of it and things of that nature. So this becomes a physical shape and form. Like I said, everything is in reverse. 9 is actually first. So 9 is looking up at 3, 2, 1 dimension. You know what I'm saying? This is how that thing come into existence, that you coming from the 0 realm and going through the 9 realm. 9 is the physical shape and form of 0. That's what you need to understand. And then 9 can become 1 once it filters in through the frequency vibration. Look at 9 like the vibration and 0 like the frequency. So your space, your 0 is your space, your spirit. You are 0. Then once you start to vibrate, you become 9. You have wisdom and knowledge of your space, your surroundings, your subconscious, your 360. You see what I'm saying? And then now you could become an individual, which is 1. And then now you can become the Elohim, which is create your 8th and 7th dimensional realm. And then once you box yourself out as the 7, that's you become a true individual and things of that nature. And then that's when you could correlate and construct the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. So you came from the 1 and bust out as the 7, and then now you're in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm. So that's that 1, 4, and 7 orchestrating coming again on a lower level, but the higher octave level is the 0 and the 9. You see what I'm saying? Before y'all even get to Tesla and all that shit with the 1, 2, 3 and shit like that. I'm Archangel Uriel. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, we're gonna get into some real shit, how y'all really supposed to look at things. Now, for the most part, when y'all looking at the sun, which y'all quote unquote want to call any star rising, right? That is actually in reverse. Everything is in reverse, like I just said. So that is actually the star setting. Now I'm saying, based upon y'all realm of reality, there's no such thing as direction in the fourth, fifth, or sixth dimension. But based upon the third dimension that y'all are on, y'all are following, looking up to whatever spirit y'all have followed to create a shape and form in the space and location that you are in at the moment. See what I'm saying? So that's just going to be your perception and how you look up the concept. You know what I'm saying? And if this being want to continue y'all y'all having concepts of it looking down on y'all in some way, shape, or form, then it has to continue creating an overall concept, an overall imagination, aka give off of itself. And for you to receive it, and then you give off on a lower spectrum, but that's another video. Now, for the most part, check this out. Now, when we're talking about this was once the firmament or whatever like that. Now, that's why y'all can't perceive what heaven could be, because now y'all have created your own firmament so much, your own mini firmament, your own ideas and your own logics and language and things of that nature, to the point that y'all flip life all the way upside down. So to the point that when y'all think y'all looking up, y'all actually looking down. So when y'all looking at things ascending, these are things going down. So for the most part, when you're looking up, you're looking deeper into the water. You're looking deeper into the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So basically, below is actually, if you was in the ocean and you wanted to go get a breath of fresh air, and you have to look at the universe and the realm of reality you are in and look at it in that spectrum. And that's below. This is why in astrological wise and even astronomy wise, the 10th house and Saturn, or the 10th house area of the sky itself, is perceived as the highest location, as the highest position of the chart. You see what I'm saying? But if you look at it astronomy wise and look at the actual position, it is actually below. You see what I'm saying? It is actually underneath. Because when we talk about what's being exalted and things of that nature, that's spring. You know what I'm saying? That's spring area of time. But when we talk about exalted, that's when things are being the hottest and things are transitioning to be even more hotter into the stomach. Into the stomach. Summertime, stomach. That's the same area that we're talking about when we talk about the solar plexus. So before I even get into this concept that I'm gonna break down to y'all, let me give y'all this concept of your solar plexus. Everybody know they have a solar plexus, right? So you know it rotates around you, right? So you know, and then it acts like a vortex. So it goes up and it goes down, but for the most part, it is still wrapping around you like a solar plexus. Now, this is going on within you, inside you, not outside of you. So I don't want people to get that mistaken. This is going on inside you, within your constellation, your Aries through Pisces. Your solar system is within you, and then you got your solar plexus, which is your sun sign. You see what I'm saying? And whatever space it was born in within this body will be your ascended sign. You see what I'm saying? So you got it got aligned with the other chakras and all that shit. Now check this out. The solar plexus, right? When it's vortexing, it's giving life, aka heat, because it's that current, that will, that chakra, that light, that star, whatever you want to call it, that light body, that cloth, that first white cloth that you be creating for yourself, right? To be aware of yourself, when it goes and give life to the lesser version, shapes and forms of that with spirits in them, aka blood cells that got spirits in them, right? So every time it goes into an area, it gives life there, aka this is why you start to pay attention, aka your solar plexus being another area. So sometimes you pay attention to your animalistic natures and your other chakras, and sometimes you pay attention to your mentality and your higher natures and your macabre chakra and shit like that. But it's all just during the day. This ain't got nothing to do with you going to sleep and waking up. This is what you're doing throughout the day, and we calculate the being we are in solar system. That's how we calculate our time. But don't get that mistake. Don't get the time of this being mistaken with waking up and sleeping, as far as you thinking the sun rising and setting, as far as waking up and sleeping, because this is that defeats the purpose of a person being able to die within a day. You know what I'm saying? You can die at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock. That ain't got nothing to do with it being nighttime or daytime within the day that you died in, whether you died at 8 o'clock at nighttime or you died in the morning time. You see what I'm saying? So let's not get that twisted and fucked up. Now, for the most part. Now, this is what I mean by that, right? Now, look, solar plexus. So this is why it's hottest in the summertime, because you guys are blood cells in the stomach, right? So this is why I said y'all have led by thinking that this spirit is rising above y'all. But look, this is what you need to understand, right? Now, you need to know that When y'all think the sun is in its highest position in the sky, that is the sun actually in its lowest position, fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional wise. So the being that we are in and its beings, that's it's going down in its lower natures. So what you think is rising, that is the star coming down into the realm of reality that you are in Abraham's bosom, or the stomach area, or the nutsack, or the coochie area of this being, whatever like that, and then it's giving life to y'all. So when the sun coming down, y'all wake up and think the sun is rising. Then what y'all quote unquote think y'all looking up, see, y'all is not looking up. Y'all is looking down. Y'all is looking at a being in its lower nature, taking a lesser shape and form, going into its lower natures and things of that nature. So when you look up, you looking deeper in the ocean, but y'all think y'all looking at the sun rising, waking y'all up, but it's really just the sun coming down to where y'all at a low place, and then y'all getting life and shit. Then once y'all think the sun is setting, that is the sun actually rising, going back to heaven or its higher natures, above the firmament, which y'all are on the firmament. It's going above y'all thinking abilities, above y'all imaginations, above y'all feelings and emotions. And y'all so twist and turn and live upside down that y'all even think that's rising above shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's rising above that, but since y'all upside down, when y'all look up, y'all only paying attention to the being that come down, ideas, imaginations, and feelings and emotions at its shape and form state. Because this is what you need to understand, right? We're dealing with frequency vibrations. So since you're in the third dimension, you're just perceiving a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional object come down into your realm of reality. So you only could perceive it third dimensional wise. So you give it a third dimensional shape, you give it a roundness, and you give it prospects and structures the way the third dimensional is aligned. But it's truly not that in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. You see what I'm saying? This is a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension energy signature that's portraying what it wants to portray as the spirit taking the shape and form. You see, as it just being in the space, going through different spaces and location. Now, once that space come down, it comes into a transformation. So we know scientific wise, the more heat, the more fire cause transformation. So when the sun come down, aka what y'all think is rising, no, it's the solar plexus coming down to where y'all at in hell and bringing more heat down there, which is transformation. So this would cause this to move, right? It gets that to move. It gets the light to move and things of that nature, so it don't be stale and things of that nature. So that's bringing life. Then once it leaves, it goes back up. And then that's why when the sun set, what y'all call setting or nighttime, that's really the sun going back up. And now you feel a loss of life, because a lot of your spiritual energy that you paid attention to, this imagination, went up with that and got took to a higher place. And once it left the lower place, this is why y'all feel sleepy and drowsy, and then y'all die, divide, aka separate from this body and go to wherever the sun is at. And the sun is really, and it's, see, y'all not supposed to follow the sun, but really, it's like y'all traveling certain concepts and ideas. So wherever y'all go, if y'all have a lot of religious dreams, a lot of dreams of shapes and forms that y'all think the earth is, oh, you had a dream about an asteroid coming into earth, you had a dream about the sun exploding on earth. These are all, you see, you go into the imagination of this being that we are in. So you take your spiritual imagination, aka the shape and form, your imagination, your magic, the shape and form that your spirit could go into to ride that light. Then you take your little light and ride that whole current light, and what you think is setting, no, it's rising back to its mind and its overall mentality, and it's waking up wherever it's at. So where it's waking up, you going to sleep. You see what I'm saying? And then once your spirit go to that, you're kind of imagining the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional realm as just a little piece and idea and concept that's not physical yet, but you're able to experience that realm based upon your state of being and what you resonate with in that space, based upon the being that we are in. Now, for the most part, if you're having a lot of religious dreams, you're tied to a lot of things in this realm of reality, that's letting you know you're connected to this being, and you're not sleeping right, or you're eating super healthy, or it's like you're doing a bunch of shit that cater to this being in some type of way, whether it's in religious ways, whether it's in healthy ways, whether it's in taking care of the community ways, whatever that's keeping this being nurtured and whatever like that. When you go to sleep, you go into its imagination. So when the sun come back down and then wake you up as a blood cell, then your spirit get to come back into this body, and then you get to play out those characteristics and traits. And a lot of times it just has something to do with sustaining yourself or being afraid to leave the expansion, external masculine realm and not wanting to go to sleep again or something like that, or wanting to save or survive something, or wanting to sustain this body in some type of way, which is the most Lucifer way here. But what you need to understand is this. See, this is where things get real fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like if you was a person and you had a blood cell in you that don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, you need to understand your own life. If you're not spiritually inclined in yourself, then you're a person who go and indulge. You don't even understand your own habits to the point that it's going to be natural that blood cells don't give a fuck about you anyway. So to the point that it should be somebody who destruct your ass. So you can hurry up to expire this body and go into a more wiser body so you can learn from your internal realm and learn from the external realm. AKA you learn from your blood cells and learn from your the external blood cells that are being automatically in. As above, so below, as within, so without. Some deep shit. It's some real shit. It's some high shit. This is why when we say it's some deep shit, every time it's some deep shit, it's when a person actually going to where actually God is at. Because it's below. But it's reversed to y'all. It's reversed. So y'all think, now y'all coming up with concepts in y'all head like, okay, I gotta do a bunch of down shit. Nah, see, it's all fucked up, man. This word is fucked up. This is fucked up here. For real. For real. Once you really think about it, this shit is fucked up. Like, he also twist and turn. Damn. But look, check this out, though. So, when you start to get in your own imagination and shit like that, and then you stop following this star and stop coming up with all the ideas of it setting and rising, then all the religions that came from it, then all the astrology that came from it, you'll start to understand that you got your own astrological system. And you just wrapped into somebody else's zodiac wheel, chakra wheel, zodiac life, astrological system, their organization. You're wrapped in somebody else's, but we all have the ability to create our own world. See what I'm saying? Worldview. Instead of viewing someone else's world and creating more creations and be fruitful in there, we got the perception to have our own worldview. Otherwise, all you religious motherfuckers wouldn't even have your own denominations. Why the fuck y'all can't all agree on something? Because y'all got your own world, imagination, and idea. But since y'all all still weak spirits, y'all all still choose to follow a similar idea, but then y'all fight and argue amongst each other and then have spiritual warfare without knowing y'all doing that. And y'all think y'all all saving each other. No, y'all all damning each other. This shit is fucking crazy. Then y'all end up going where y'all think y'all going up, which is really just the sun, this Lucifer constellation and things of that nature, but y'all end up going to hell. So you end up getting washed up in your feelings, emotions, and vibrations, and things you was emotionally attached to that you thought you had to do to serve as a servant. And you are not a servant. You need to understand that. Everything is in reverse. Only time that servant came from a deity creating things to serve it. So if you are the servant, then you are serving something that created you to serve it. And if a being is in that mind state, God damn it, that's a demon. So God damn it, you can't be above nothing being a goddamn servant. All you motherfucking religious people, y'all need to get out of that mind state. That's a spirit that y'all following. A masculine spirit that y'all following. Because this being have created y'all because it want to shine. And the moment that you don't want to give it its praise, it'll kill and eradicate your ass. And your ass go back to where the fuck you came from if you spiritually inclined enough and master incarnator. Or your ass going to Sheol until your ass learn better. AKA your ass learn how to be a better slave. But for the most part, that's what the fuck that shit is. So if you are a servant, then you are serving something that created you to serve it. But for the most part, you need to understand the real godly energy signature created all things. You know what I'm saying? It didn't create things for it. That's a demonic energy that you're following if you're serving something, because for the most part, all the godly energy don't want to be served. It just want to create and have everything for everybody. And we know that every time you see somebody take everything that they have and just give it for everybody to just have, you know for the most part that this is a good individual. Whatever that they're given, even if they have little to nothing, you feel like that's a good individual. The moment you have a person having a whole bunch of shit and then giving a whole bunch of people duties and obligations and making them feel obligated that they have to do something in order for these things, then you know you're on the wrong end of the stick. You know you're on the wrong end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? And then this makes you this what makes you this what how all religious people turn into servants. You know what I'm saying? Because now they feel like they have to serve something to get the benefit out of something, because whatever that they're serving, they feel like that's what's forever given. Where we all have the energy to give, but the reason you are in a smaller realm of reality you are in right now, because your ass been taking too goddamn much. So you've been taking so goddamn much, so you spiritually in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension feel like you have to serve whatever you have been given. You feel like you have to serve. And then in the third dimension, it play out into many different things. It play out into people caring about caring about shit that they don't necessarily, that's out of their energy spectrum. You know what I'm saying? You find yourself trying to defend trees. You find yourself trying to defend land. You find yourself trying to defend people. You find yourself trying to defend material. You find yourself, you could pick, there's many different lost things you could pick to think that you defended something, but for the most part, you're just in the realm of reality of feeling like you have been given something, and since you don't want to transform, and you think this is the only way something can play out, you find yourself wanting to praise that in some way, shape, or form. So you end up being a servant to what you think is sustaining you. And what you think is sustaining you, I'm telling you, is a goddamn illusion. You created what the fuck is sustaining you right now in your motherfucking face. You see what I'm saying? You created what the fuck is sustaining you. So you better start making some new creations so you can have some better sustainments. Therefore, you won't be frustrated about when the shit that you thought was sustaining you get destroyed by motherfuckers who use that shit for their fucking free will and create some shit that sustain them while everybody else be fucking mad. This is some real shit. Like, shit is really reversed. Shit is reversed in this motherfucker. Y'all niggas need to learn that shit. For real. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You need to get into your concept where you're creating everything that work for you. So, therefore, everything you create serves you. You don't be on the servant end. You be on the end where you're getting served. You know what I'm saying? Your imagination and your dreams and everything you're manifesting in your life work for you. You don't be in no circumstance or situation where you end up having to serve these motherfucking things you're manifesting in your life. Because that ain't going to do nothing but create limitations and blockages and things of that nature, because y'all following certain spirits that want y'all in this certain routine, structure, blockage, pattern. Therefore, this pattern, no matter, it make you think you're going higher, because it's smart. So it make you think you're going higher by coming up with concepts and ideas of sustainment, around sustainment and worshiping the masculine energy, the shapes and forms of something in some way, shape, or form, to the point that y'all just not understanding. So for the most part, when this motherfucker come back down here, bring its high imaginations and thoughts and feelings and emotions back down to y'all think the sun is goddamn rising and shit like that, and y'all think y'all waking up and shit. Y'all think y'all conscious, but y'all just be consciously aware of the dumb motherfucker that y'all live in and its dumbass high ideas and shit like that. This light bearer constellation. Listen, so y'all get super wise, super conscious, super woke, aka super Luciferian. All of y'all. You got me down here, you know what I'm saying, on some whole other shit that may not even make sense to nobody. That's why when I die, the realm of reality where I go at ain't gonna be in this sense. I'm not gonna have these senses. I'm not gonna be in this realm of reality. It's gonna be unknown to y'all. It ain't not to me though. Shit crazy in this motherfucker, man. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. You wanna know how to really reach the A, nigga? Watch my channel. Flight boss, bitch.